If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. That's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe and put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. So that's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe and put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. Doing a mic check here, testing 1, 2, 3. We're going to begin here in just a minute. I've got 3 guests lined up behind the scenes. And we have a $50 donation from Matthew Furman. Thank you very much for starting that question. And go to our guest. Hello, welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. Testing out my new Sony camera here. We'll see how that goes. I've got a new sign in the back. I think I'm going to keep my original sign for the purpose of podcasting, but I have a really cool stainless steel sign. I'm super excited about that. We have 4 guests who are ready to come on camera here this hour with us. They're behind the scenes. If you guys want to ask a question today, just click on that StreamYard link. Today's format is live Q&A on camera. We also have Matthew Furman, who was one of our stars in our last episode, also asking about his IPI score, 2,000 units, issues. He needs to get rid of them. Last time we talked about if anybody wants to purchase his account and help him liquidate, he's interested in talking to you. So Matt, happy to look at the account with you. Matt's also a PPC client with us right now. All right, so first guest, Jordan Lee is going to come on. And Jordan, we don't have a camera for you, so if you could share your camera, otherwise we'll go to our next guest here. We'll give you a second while you figure that out. James, you seem like you're ready. How you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me. I was on a couple of weeks ago, and you were really helpful. Um,
I remember.
so I want to start putting product insert cards into my my packages, and I'm terrified about breaking any Amazon TOS stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so the strategy is it's a QR code. Incentive is lifetime replacement warranty. The QR code will take them, will open up their text message. So I'll collect SMS and then probably email too. Um, so I'm not trying to bribe them to get reviews or anything. I just
Right.
want a way to follow up, maybe, send them offers or get UGC stuff. Just wondering if that's completely 100% TOS Amazon.
So as long as you don't ask for reviews, I think you're going to probably skirt by and not have an issue. Now, obviously, the rules can be adjusted or changed at any given time. But right now, what I've been seeing is as long as you just don't ask for reviews, we haven't seen any suspensions, removals, FBA logistics issues, or anything of that sort. So things that I have personally done, I have put incentives to take a picture of them using my product. Never once had an issue. Many of my clients do the same thing. For you to offer a warranty is very in line with a standard manufacturer offer. And this has been done for decades, and product inserts have always done this. It's not an issue. The QR code being scanned, also a newer technique, but also pretty standard. And as long as a customer doesn't scan that, end up in a drip stream somehow directly tied to the QR code, incentivizing a review, I think you'll be just fine.
Okay. What's your recommendation for best incentive to get somebody to take action? I mean, lifetime warranty seems pretty standard, but I'm sure there's other things that could get even higher conversion rate on a response.
And remind me what category you sell in?
I sell decals, stickers,
Okay,
patriotic decals and stickers.
got it. So a lifetime warranty on something under 20 bucks or $30, people are going to be very unlikely to fill it out, right? They don't have a lot of incentive. If you were selling a $700 air purifier, everybody and their dogs is going to want to sign up for that, right? They want that guarantee, that warranty. So I think you're going to have a hard time with conversion with decals. So maybe what you need to do is say, hey, sign up for our warranty, get $5 off your next order, and then also put them into your email drip campaign. The problem is if there's any incentive off of Amazon to purchase, you will run into some gray areas. So Amazon does not want you to take the customer to your website. They have no incentive to do so. Having said that, if you do it the way that I'm describing, where you're like, hey, sign up for a warranty, and you happen to get $5 off your next order, and you don't specify how the $5 is given until the last step, you'll probably skirt by just okay. But to be very clear, if the line item textbook definition of what Amazon will not like is any incentive to order off the platform. So if that $5 could go back on Amazon, that might be enough to make it happen. You'd probably be okay.
So if you send traffic to your Shopify store, Amazon could not be cool with that.
There's this weird situation because like Amazon totally wants you to offer a warranty, right? Well, how do you give the warranty to somebody if they don't go to your website?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's a paradox. So you can definitely drive them to your site to do things that make sense that are in the customer's best interest. But the moment you start hyper marketing and be like, $5 off my website, buy here, here's the code, that's when it gets sketchy and problematic. So I think you can incentivize. I think you can tell them to sign up. I'm just suggesting that the white line ends once there's incentive of any kind. The gray then begins. I personally incentivize them to post a picture on a social media profile, and I guarantee you, that's probably the wrong word to use. I predict that will never cause a problem. I think that Amazon will at some point crack down on website incentives, but but I have not seen anything to date. And the only thing that they seem to care about publicly is incentivized reviews, because the FTC just went way hard on them the past 4 or 5 years. So as long as the word review never shows up anywhere, I think you could probably get away with anything.
So what are the details? So you say you incentivize people to post on social media. How do you? What's the full loop of how that works? Do
Well,
they?
so I have an insert, right? So on my desk here, I have my Amazon guy postcard, but it's basically the same idea, right? So I put something of this size or slightly smaller, put it into the packaging. Consumer gets the packaging, they open it up, and they're like, oh, I could get an incentive if I just post a picture of me using the product. They do that. They post it on social media. I have a virtual assistant that crawls the hashtag and immediately goes and provides them a one-time use promo code directly usable on Amazon.
And you send that promo code
through Instagram.
What's that?
Through Instagram.
Okay. All right.
So I encourage you to do the lifetime warranty insert, but if you don't incentivize it beyond that, I predict maybe 1 out of 1,000 people will use it.
1 out of 1,000. Okay, that's pretty low. I mean, that's not even worth the effort if it's only 1 out of 1,000.
So if you incentivize it, throw $5 on it, I bet you'll take that 1 out of 1,000 and get it up to 30 out of 1,000, and that's actually a good number.
Okay.
If you're giving a $20 value, you might be able to get that percentage point up further. But at the end of the day, direct mailer action items are generally sub 3% action. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. What about free stuff? Give them a free decal if they do it. Is that free stuff work?
I like that. I really do.
Okay.
That costs you more than the $5.
If the lifetime value of the customer is greater than the cost of doing the fulfillment, it's definitely worth it. If it's
the way that I would do that is maybe give them a smaller free decal that you're trying to get rid of,
yes,
or liquidate, something like that, and allow yourself some flexibility there. So in your physical print, say free decal, when they get to the website, you give them the terms and conditions. Like it's a specific decal that says XYZ.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. All right, James, thanks for kicking us off today. We got a lot of people in queue, so I'm going to move on to our next guest. But James, best of luck. Merry Christmas, sir.
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right. We'll see you later. Okay. So I'm going to jump Matt to the front of the line because he donated $50 to the channel. Matt, you've been a long time friend of the channel and customer. Thank you very much. After Matt, we're going to get back to Jordan Lee since he's been waiting the longest, and then Ruben in that order. Geraldine on the back end will keep you guys updated on the ordering here. All right, Matt. So talk to me about your IPI and restocking issue. How can I help today?
Hey, Steven. That deal fell through. I know I mentioned somebody from your channel saw me. We talked about buying buying my company. Fell through.
Did you document his objections? And you don't need to share them, but did you document them?
It was this, I spoke with this lady. She was wonderful. We had a great conversation. And for her, I just don't think the numbers work. She's a current seller. She's doing really well. Mm-hmm. She's super smart. And it just didn't work for her. And I understand. And we had a nice conversation and it was great. Everything's positive. So my IPI score just keeps plummeting. Q4, I got killed. I sold.
So before we move off the deal, I just want to emphasize whatever objection that they had, you should really internalize and think about because you still want to sell. And the next person you talk to, what's the first thing you should do? Sell into that objection.
I understand. The numbers are the numbers, though. She was so
the next person you talk to, though, start with the numbers. Say, hey, look, the reason I haven't been able to sell this is because the numbers don't really add up. Here's why you should buy it anyway.
You're right. That's a great point. I just think she did the numbers in terms of she didn't like the margins is really what it came down to. And I understand. And especially at this point, since there's no momentum, can't sell it for what I'd like to sell it for.
Got it. Okay. So now that I've established that, I just thought that was a valuable tidbit. So now you've got overstock, 2,000 units, IPI under 297, which is very low.
Awful.
And that's preventing you. And you got restock limits as well. Now, here's the good news. I believe right around February 15th, the restock limits will go back up at no action taken by you. So you have some reprieve coming predictably. Logically, this happened last year as well. So that's why I predict it.
I mean, I have 1968 units currently that they're showing. I have 1,000 limit. I feel until I, get rid of, I can't wait 2 months. I feel it's killing me. I think they're charging me so much for storage. I know that might go down.
The other good news is January 1st, your storage costs are going to go down about, so they're going to go from whatever they are to a 30% of that, or give or take.
I mean, I still can't send in my bestseller.
That's a problem. I do think you should still sell some inventory to a second seller just to get inventory moving.
I don't even know how to do that. I know we spoke on it.
Yeah. So my time's been taxed, so I didn't help you directly on this. But what anybody listening, if you want to make a few dollars for a little bit of effort and you have a seller account, you're willing to sell on Matt's top seller, you can work it out with Matt. Matt, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
I guess right through Garden Gnomes Galore. You could gardengnomesgalore.com. Just go there.
Okay. So send a contact form there. And here's what I propose, whoever works this out with you, Matt. Matt sells wholesale directly to the buyer, and it's going to be at a discounted rate. The buyer will then sell it on the ASIN and is going to buy a 45, 60-day supply. By then, you should be okay. So this is potentially a one-time deal. Now, it could become more than a one-time deal if problems aren't fixed, or if there are other reasons to maintain that. Maybe you wind down and go into a wholesale model, right? So anyway, could be worth $400 or $500 to somebody listening to this right now. If you're a US based seller and can help out and take a shipment into your FBA, these are units that will move in under 60 days. All right, so we got that idea on the table.
Okay, I don't love that idea. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You don't like it?
No.
Okay.
Because
it's a get on base idea.
I know I'm more into the let me get rid of 1,000 units, liquidate, donate, something like that. Get on base idea. That's kind of where I'm tending.
So the value of the two ideas we have floating right here, value of engaging a seller to sell on the platform and the liquidation move 1,000 units, they are probably of equal value. The minimal amount of effort that you'll have to do to move a few hundred units and make a deal will be far less, though, versus having to collectively make a deal and hours of conversation and financial sharing and whatever. Or on the other side, you call up a charity and you just say, "Hey, man, I got a floundering business. I'm in debt X number of dollars. I just want to make a donation, and can you help me?" Or, something along those lines. Now, the donation process, though, is there's no direct write-off there. You've already spent the money. The money is the write-off, right? So you're not going to get additional value. That would just be like, okay, I'm done, right? And so for those that are listening, this is the first time you've heard Matt's story. He's in a position with his garden gnomes, and he's overstocked. Fees are high. And he's feeling the pressure. This is the real story of being an Amazon seller. And so Matt's been grinding this for months, trying to figure out a path forward. He wants to succeed. He wants to be an entrepreneur, right? So one of the questions I have for you, Matt, is as you've gone through this discovery journey, the struggle, if you will, what has been the biggest zone of genius that you have succeeded in? Where do you feel like, man, I am one of the best people in the world at this one thing?
Well, sure as hell ain't Amazon FBA.
Well, okay, so maybe it's not the logistics part. We figured that out, yes. But what did you feel like you really succeeded at? What was the most powerful? You looked in the mirror and you're like, wow, I feel good about that.
I mean, in terms of Amazon, because that is not my feather in my cap.
In terms of the whole business apparatus as it relates to the gnomes process. So what part of the process did you do exceptionally well?
I think my listings are done well. I think I also am smart because I find the right people, aka my Amazon guy, Stephen Pope. Amazing.
Thank you for that.
I feel like at this point, I'm like I'm ready. Like I know that like I'm stuck here, and I know if I had a new product or I did too many SKUs. We've talked about this. I think that's the issue, and also I don't want, I appreciate and I like when people call, and I've had a few inquiries about my business, but it's a lot of talk and it's time consuming,
It
and
is.
most people aren't pulling the trigger. So that's why you say, I don't want to talk to 5 people who want my inventory. I just rather cut it. I've lost so much anyway. So that's how I feel. So I kind of want to know what to do. Like, if you think donate, I'll do it. Like, I don't want to get on the phone again. I like the lady who wanted to buy it. Like, she was super nice, but it's back and forth, back and forth. Then we spoke for 2 hours, and then she doesn't want to do it. And I respect that.
That is a predictable outcome, right? You're going to have somewhere between 10 and 15 of those to execute.
Possibly.
So, right. So you and I were emailing back and forth. You were getting excited, and I said, "Let me know how it goes." I expected this exact outcome.
Me too. I mean, that's just it's the truth. All right, we could talk more on that, but I want to ask you about. I have 2 listings I closed because I think I'm out of stock on one of them. It was one of the SKUs that I just only I wanted to get rid of. I have one SKU that has 0, yet there's 106 in reserve. What does that mean?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that question. Before I do that, I want to close out the zone of genius conversation. Whatever you do next, so like the gnome situation is temporary, right? Like you're going to have this solved in somewhere between 60 and 120 days. 100% confident. Okay. The decision point after you solve this problem, I think, is a really important pivot moment in the journey of an Amazon seller. And that's why I wanted to take an extra minute and emphasize this. Stick to your zone of genius, right? So you said 2 things. You said design, listing build. We'll call that a marketing part. So you're good at the marketing. And the second part was deal making. Although you're stressed about the kind of deal making you're having to do with the gnomes. So anyway, I just want to emphasize that. Think about when you make your next step as an entrepreneur, how to stay in that zone and find the next win. And whatever, maybe you partner with somebody who's a sourcing product expert in logistics, for example. All right. So, Matt, I don't know if you valued that or not, but I felt compelled to do that. So hopefully that was helpful.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. Let's pivot over to the actual question and where you want to get some value. So the reserved inventory. And this is something you could share your screen and show if you'd like.
I'd love to.
All right. So feel free to do that. You can hit the share screen button and then I'll pull it in. And essentially, I can predict the answer here. Okay. It's FBA has checked in an item or they've shipped it to another warehouse. Feel free to keep working on the share screen. And once it's resolved, it'll pull out a reserve and go into your actual inventory. The reserve status is kind of a catch-all. It can include stock that is transferring between warehouses, although they did make a new FC transfer drop down. It can include researched inventory. It can include, okay, it's technically FC transfer, but it hasn't fully been put into the bins. It's sitting in a container outside the warehouse, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And it can also include, this is not going to be the reason, but it can also include orders that are pending. So if you're not going to have 137 orders pending, obviously, but it can include that. So those are all the things that reserved inventory can't include. The one that I predict that's probably happening on your account is an FC transfer that just hasn't completed fully. Okay. All right. So we lost Matt. He dropped off when he tried to share his screen. We might pull him back in a little bit later. But I thought that was a good segment. I thought that was a good conversation with him. All right. So Jordan, we're going to go to you next. You've been waiting the longest. Welcome back, Jordan Lee. Good to see you.
Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me?
Perfect. How can I help today?
Yeah, great. So I've got 2 good questions. So the first one's kind of been a running issue that I've had. It's with Amazon shipping. First of all, I'm in the UK, but it's Amazon shipping.
Couldn't tell with the accent, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's Amazon shipping my product in sort of a paper bag as opposed to an Amazon box. and it's causing obviously sort of damage. And
Have you heard my hot sauce story?
Yes, yeah.
So I
It's
understand
not
this one.
not as bad as that, but it's still annoying because the only returns we've had, the return rate is low.
What's
but
the item you sell?
All due to what was that? Sorry.
What's the item you sell?
So it's a pet sort of starter kit. The easiest way to explain it is it's in a box similar to like your Age of Sage, like your gift of mom sort of boxes that you sell. So I think the issue is because it's already in a box. I think that's what they're saying. It's like they don't need to then put it in a box. This is what I'm getting back from seller support. But the problem is the box is arriving damaged.
You send in retail boxes and you didn't send it in shipping boxes. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the problem is the box is part of the product, is part of the gift.
You're not going to like my answer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Really sorry about this. There is no solution to your problem except shipping in new inventory in physical shipping boxes.
Okay. Yeah.
So eat the returns. Keep your inventory there at FBA unless it's like 40% or something crazy high. But if it's like 15% or lower, eat it.
Yeah.
And then your next manufacturing run, double box it.
Okay.
Have a retail box with an exterior of a physical brown box that's got that corrugated shipping thickness, if you will, right? So if we look at this, I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but it's thick enough, and that's probably the bad angle to show it. Probably the good angle to show is this. Where you can see that's a solid 2 or 3 millimeters. You might be able to measure that in millimeters better than me, since us in the US use inches. But anyway, that's the solution. That's the long-term scalable solution. So with the hot sauce story, for those that haven't heard me talk about, and I use it frequently, I sent 1,000 of these in. I paid Amazon to do the prep work, put it in padded padding, bubble wrap, and then they freaking shipped it out in padded envelopes. And it's like, why? Like, how is Amazon so stupid? Right? Like, and so this is a very common problem. I hear about it all the time. So sorry, I can't solve your problem directly. I can't make Amazon do what logically makes sense. Ship it out in a real box, folks. But what you do need to do is next order, double box it, retail package inside of a shipping box, or ditch the retail box and put it in a real shipping box.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we can go back to the manufacturer on that. And then just on my second question, which is quickly, so this is a new brand that we've started, so it's the same product. So at what point would you sort of consider launching that second product in that product line? When is the right time to do that? Do you really max the first product as much as possible, or do you bring that second product in to then try and build the brand? I'm focused more on growth more than profitability at this point.
All right. So this is not a marketing question. This is also probably not an operations question. This is a finance question.
Yeah.
And when it comes to finance questions, ignore the marketing, ignore the operations. Can you fund the second product? Yes or no?
Okay. Yes, I would say, yeah. If we put funding aside, it's just more of a case of timing. Do we, because what I don't want to do is bring in a second product and then kind of cannibalize the first product.
That won't happen. The only way that would happen is if you shipped in a blue color version of your black color pet supply product. Don't do that. What you should do is launch a new product that has nothing to do with your current one. Can be the same brand, can be an accessory, can be a complementary product used by the same customer avatar, but not a like item, not a variation. I think the number one mistake most Amazon sellers make early on in their tenure is they create too many variations of the same product, too many colors, too many. And by the way, Matthew Furman, who's back on the back end here, he launched too many gnomes, right? If he had launched 2 or 3 gnomes, or even just one, but then launched 2 additional products, maybe a flamingo, maybe something else that goes on the lawn, he probably would not have the same problems he has today. Now, the challenge that sellers get struggled and caught up with, though, is like, how do I pick which gnome to launch? How do I pick which pet product to use? That's the guessing part.
Yeah.
So My rule of thumb here is the rule of three. Launch 3 products. One will succeed, one will fall flat, one will break even. And so you only did 1 product. If you can finance the second one right now and you won't lose your shirt, you can still pay rent and you're going to be okay financially. And in addition to that, you did at least break even on the first product.
Yeah.
You have my blessing and encouragement. Go launch the next one.
Yeah.
If the first product went terribly, before you do the second one, ask this question: what went wrong?
Yes.
And if the things that went wrong occur in 3 categories: operations, finance, and marketing. If you are a failure in all 3 of these, you shouldn't be a business entrepreneur.
Yeah.
If you can get C's gets degrees in 2 of these categories and an A for excellence in the 3rd of your choosing, proceed.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you have better than 2 C's and an A, definitely proceed. But that's how I would self-rate it. So Jordan Lee, how did I do?
Yeah, no, it's great. I think I'll follow your point where the second product, as long as we don't make it too similar to the first, because like I said, I want to grow the brand. So I do want to have, a wider product line, rather than, like you said, kind of just bringing out the same product, but just a slight difference or just a different color. I don't think that will really help. I think we need to go to the drawing board for the second product and actually create something different, still within the brand image, but then we can grow that way. So yeah, I'll go down that line.
All right. So if your first product was for dogs, make one for cats. Or if the first product was for nail trimming kits, the second product should be a collar, right? Yeah. Totally different, not the same color. All right. So I think you got the point. Yeah. Jordan Lee, thanks for coming on the My Amazon Guy podcast. I thought you were great.
No, thank you. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, man. So our next guest is going to be Ruben. Matt, I'm going to have you hang out for a little bit here so we can dice things up. We got a lot of people waiting. Ruben, customer engagement question. How can I help you, sir? And welcome back, by the way. You've been here a couple times.
Yes. Hi, Stephen. Hi, everybody. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for the book recommendation. I started my comments there with the book Traction. Like, I would really suggest anybody who haven't read it, just go again and read it. And you're going to reread it, because there's no way you, after reading once, you're not going to want to reread and listen again. It's just, you're going to take notes. Like, a lot of things make sense after this book. Let me put it that way. So
I want to emphasize your point. I read it every 6 months, and there's 6 different sections in the book. I work on a different 6 version while I try and level up. So it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So the question is on the customer engagement. We know the customer engagement tool was available for a long time, not for everybody. It was beta. Whoever was active was kind of blessed, but it was not as effective because it was directly tied into the people, to customers who follow your store. And those are the only customers who you can engage and create this email marketing. And
yeah, it's pretty much useless.
Yeah, pretty much useless. Yeah, for those who don't know, customer engagement is like their email marketing tool. On last Amazon Accelerator forum, it was announced that there's going to be either the upgrade of the customer engagement or a new tool that will allow you to engage with anybody who made a purchase from you and use that as a type of a email marketing. So I kind of, after that boom on LinkedIn, I lost the track into how that works. Is it invite only, or what is it? Any news or updates on that regard?
I have heard nothing. I do recall seeing like a 1 or 2 line announcement about past purchases, like a part of the so for those that don't know, you can do retargeting in display campaigns. This used to be only available on DSP like 2 years ago. And now it's available directly in the display campaigns of Seller Central. So for anybody that hasn't done retargeting, start there. Keep in mind, the ACoS will be significantly higher, which is rare for anybody that's done website e-commerce for years. Everybody knows that the lowest form of advertising is retargeting. Not the case on Amazon for reasons I haven't figured out yet. I think that the buyer intent is just simply higher on sponsored products than it is through display. So having said all that, if anybody has heard anything about customer engagements, specifically this, sending emails through the customer engagement portal to past purchasers, please write a comment and share your experience or a help file or anything you can. Ruben will come back and read the comments and see if he can find that. If I find that, I'm going to shoot a video dedicated on that, and I'll honor you with the idea, Ruben. We'll probably.
I really appreciate it because we get, there's a lot of that conversation pops up a lot when speaking with the brands, and I want to give it the right answer, but I cannot find it. I was like, let me pop up and see if there's anything. Well, thank you. That's all for me.
All right, Ruben. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll see you later. All right. So just for our lineup for guests, we got Robert, Neil, and Amir in that order. And then we'll get back to Matt after that. So put Matt right after Amir here. All right. So let's pull in Robert. Hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you again. You're on mute. Go ahead and hit that unmute button.
There we go. Hello again.
Yes.
I feel like I'm getting a few $100s of value every time, not going through your website and asking for a consulting hour.
I'm okay with it. You know why? You're coming on camera and you're being vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm
and
here
you're
to
giving
share.
value to the Amazon community by doing so.
That's what I'm trying to do here. I try to pick questions that kind of apply a little bit broader. Unfortunately, this first question is pretty simple. Just we've been having trouble with it, and it's just basically a yes/no question. Brand registry, brand analytics. You can assign that to more than one selling account, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
It sounds really. It sounds like I should know the answer already, being involved like years. Just never really thought about it because we've always just assigned.
Hold on. Let's give you some credit here, Robert. Brand analytics and brand registry are confusing as hell.
Oh, they are. They are.
and the access to those is not transparent on Amazon's part. Let's be very clear.
I've just never really thought about giving brand analytics to two seller accounts that we've never run into. We've never really dealt with it. And now just like, oh, wow.
Here's how to do it.
You just got to ticket Amazon until you get it, I guess.
Kind of. So step one, add brand registry to the second account. Have you done that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Step two, check the global user permissions.
Okay.
And step three, file tickets until you get it.
Yeah, that's step three is
like,
usually the one you end up at. Everyone ends up at.
My prediction is the step that you're missing is probably step two, which is the global user permissions.
In brand registry?
Which, by the way, I didn't know existed until about 2 months ago. And I was trying to change my account name, not my display name, my account name, and was so frustrated. I was sending multiple emails to Jeff at Amazon. I'm like, why is this so stupidly hard? Why can't I change the name of my account? And then they kept repeating back the help file, the global user permissions. I'm like, what is this? Well, once I finally went and read the help file with a detailed fine, comb, I discovered that, man, there's actually some new permission settings, and brand analytics, I'm pretty certain, is in there. So type in to Google global user permissions, my Amazon guy. I'm going to share my screen so you can see which video this is about. Let's see. I don't think my actual new video came up when I Googled this. I've got add secondary users, can't access user permissions. None of these are the correct ones. I have a new video about 2 months ago. Grant brand registry benefit search query. This one might be the right video. But in any case, you want to go to the global user permission, see if you can find that. If anybody finds the actual right video that solves this, post it in the comments, and we'll make sure we showcase that. But that's what I think you need, Robert.
Okay, so the more complex open-ended question is, I'm about to develop a process around managing product reviews, and I'm pretty sure it was you I heard speaking about it. It is possible. You can open tickets and say, this is against terms of service.
Yes.
Please review this, and then you quote them, and it's basically a ticketing process.
Correct. I do have a really great guide on this that will help expedite some of the verbiage, but to be very abundantly clear, 3% success rate at best. So that means virtual assistant tickets, and you're probably going to pay $40 per review removed, which seems really high. But if you get that really one bad one removed, it might be worth it. So don't do this on every negative review ever. But here's the guide. Just type into Google, remove product reviews, my Amazon guy. We have here pre-written and explanation where to go in the ticketing process, and the review type, if it's about the seller, if it's about the shipment, if it's about the packaging, the competitor, the wrong product. We have every one of these listed out. Copy and paste this, and you will be surprised. You don't actually have to write too much more than this. to get it to work.
My tickets are always super simple, like one sentence.
Yes.
No euphemisms, no pleases, no thank yous.
Just
No
straight to the point.
introduction.
Here is what I need.
Yeah.
Now, my question though is, why can't Amazon do that back to us? Why can't Amazon just give me support where it's like, you asked for A and I gave you A? Instead, they're like, you asked for an apple and I gave you a steak crap sandwich with poo
And
brownie.
then they say please and thank you 500 times before they get to any content.
And they tiptoe around this customer service needs to not be flowery when it comes to technical troubleshooting. It needs to be problem solution done.
That's what they want our POAs to be. I don't get it.
Doesn't that blow your mind? They're like, they're not delivering what you want back. No.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that was very helpful. I'm going to check your website. Side note, I have started buying some of your courses for a couple of my VAs.
How's that going?
They already like them. I don't know if they started using them yet, but I told them, Merry Christmas. I bought you some courses.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. Thanks for bringing that up. We'll plug it real quick. So mag-school.com, and we have a lot of new courses that are coming out. We just launched customer service.
I scrolled through them. I love the organization around them.
Yeah, and they're all really simple, 10 to 20 bucks a pop. We have the super entry level ones at 10, and then everything else at 20. But there's all kinds of things in here. A couple of bundles in here if you guys want to save a couple bucks. But at the end of the day, we're losing money to put these on. So feel free to check those out. While I have you in here, Robert, let me get your take on this. I haven't shown this publicly yet. Probably in the next 12 hours, everybody, if you go to myamazonguy.com/Pope, we're going to launch a new product. It's also going to show up on the coaching page right here very shortly. Our designer is working on it literally right now. But at myamazonguy.com/Pope, you can't purchase anything quite yet. We are about to roll out a brand new coaching service that will have a cohort of 50 sellers, and in it, weekly group sessions. Basically the same thing we're doing right here live, except private with 50 people on the call, everybody sharing their experiences weekly with me, a Slack channel where we can communicate in real time, where I personally am going to respond to those threads, unlimited access to Mag School courses. I'm going to have to figure that out now that I think about it with multiple accounts and VA scenarios. So I might have to think of that. Geraldine, write that out as a note. We have to figure out how we're going to create that limitation. Probably one account unlimited. That's probably how we'll do it. And then all of our SOPs, 500 of them minimum. We actually don't know what our actual count is. It might be closer to 1,000.
Yeah, we're up to probably 40 or 50.
Yeah.
I love the idea.
Yeah. And then a discount on my refund guy and trademark services. So I have not talked to a single person about this outside of the company. What's your hot take? Do you think people will sign up for this?
Oh, I love it. That segues into my last comment in closing, which was I'd love to have a jam session where we're just talking about the brand analytics reports and how valuable they are. Because I heard a couple podcasts where they brought a panel on, and it's like there's so many angles you can take on this. And it's like Brandon Young's like Amazon it literally solved what you need to work on. Oh, my PPC is too expensive. Well, look at that report and follow the funnel. You can see exactly where the problem is. you point about it all the time with your ICAP. That's where all the problems or all the solutions are.
You're completely correct. So here is my Age of Sage brand analytics, House of the Dragon merchandise, 14,000 people searching this. I have a brand share of 4% on impressions. I call it the ICAP marketing funnel because ICAP stands for impressions, clicks, add to carts, and off the screen to the right, purchases. So if anybody hasn't checked that out, myamazon.com/ICAP.
About this report that applies to you as well. You have your Age of Sage in a 3-pack, like a 6, and a big bundle.
Mm-hmm.
If you download like 10 weeks worth of data for all 4 ASINs and line them up, you can see that for some of your variations, there's a keyword that is super high on the search query rank. And then for others, it doesn't even get an impression. And that tells you that for the other one, you need to focus on that keyword to bring it up. Maybe. It shows you where the hole is and possible reason to fix it.
The reason I said maybe is because if it's a sizing variation and like the 100 pack's not indexing on sage candles for cleansing house, which is my big case study.
Yeah.
That may not matter because you can only have one SKU in the variation tree rank on the search page. So it would make sense to me that the impressions would go to the single SKU. Now, if it was a different SKU or a different ASIN outside of a parentage and it had a different result, that might be a more indicative likelihood of doing that, though.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot. My size variations are not in a variation. That's why I feel like it's the whole. I keep them separate for now. I'm doing a little experiment, breaking up my families and having 4 distinct, the single pack, which we make no money on, the 3-pack, and then the 6.
So I love parentage theory. You bring up a whole new can of worms. In general, parentage good. Breaking parentage, you need to have a litmus test because the parentage generally has Google ranking and other benefits. My litmus test for breaking a parentage are 2 SKUs, 80% of the sales. And at least 40% is on SKU A and B, right? So 2 power SKUs on a listing. If so, break it in half.
My main reason for liking to break it is when I search for, say sage for a home, now I get search spot 1, 2, and 3. And I push everyone else down.
The number one benefit to breaking it is additional search
and search spots.
So this is the actual product in question. Notice how sage candles for cleansing house showing up number 1 here. So Robert's point earlier, it literally shows you where to prioritize. This is proof of that, right? And so I had an percentage share, but my click share was gigantic in comparison. It still is. Right. And I was able to triple my market share on this one keyword in 7 weeks by targeting it. And I put it in the title and I emphasized the ads and stuff like that. So it's a huge reservoir of data and information. And you're totally right, Robert.
Yeah, I'd love to see your that new coaching thing you guys are putting out. Looks really valuable.
So we're going to have that live hopefully by end of day today. myamazonguy.com/Pope. If you guys want to be one of the first 50 to sign up, it's going to be $999 a month. Cancel anytime after that. So no commitment and we'll go from there. So we'll see how many people sign up. The reason I wanted to offer it though is because not everybody can afford our full service. And some people like doing the work. They just need some coaching. And they can't afford a 30-minute, $400 session with me. But in Slack, it's going to be a communal effort. So, all right, Robert, thanks for coming on, man. Hope our pitch for Pope Plus takes off. We'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. All right. So I thought that was a really fascinating conversation. We hit a lot of good topics there. We got Neil. You're up next. Thanks for patiently waiting on the back end.
Hey,
how you doing, Neil?
I'm doing all right. It could be a little better. So I'm going to get right into it.
Time to buzz down again. That's you got to order a groomie on Amazon.
I know that's one of the things I got to do today. So in December 2nd, my bestseller got yanked from Amazon.
That's why you're not in a good mood. That makes sense.
Yeah. So December 2nd, it got yanked. I went ahead. I bought the listing reinstatement from you guys. So I have Virgil working on my case right now, trying to get my ASIN back up. Shout out to Virgil.
Good. He's been with me a couple of years, by the way.
Yeah, he's pretty confident that he'll be able to get it back up. But this is where my question comes into play. It's actually an issue of timing. So Amazon sent me a warning saying I just sent in 1,000 units and they want me to pull out 1,000 units. So they want me to create a removal order.
So I definitely would not conduct the removal order. Can you tell me what the reason for the yank was?
Drug paraphernalia. They classified it as drug paraphernalia. I've been selling it for a year and a half. 250 reviews, lots of similar products in the niche, yada yada yada. So is there a way I can buy time while appealing the removal order? You know what I mean? I don't have to, because they told me I have to create the removal order by January 15th. And Virgil's been working on it.
Mag's got to come through and just get the listing reinstated by then. That's what's got to happen. Mm-hmm. Right. So there's immense pressure for us to do that.
It's a lot of back and forth between him. I'm getting emails from them every day saying, yeah, we're looking at it. And he just keeps on ticketing away. But I'm starting to plan for worst case scenario.
Which
right?
makes sense.
So I've lined up a warehouse to, do this inventory removal if I have to. But I'm wondering, can I switch to like multi channel fulfillment to keep my inventory in the Amazon system? Or is there a way I can stall?
I don't think so. So there's a delineation on my no answer there. Could you ship MCF right now out of that inventory? Yes, technically. But can you tell Amazon to transfer it into MCF only inventory with that special program that they made? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible to transfer that. Generally speaking, once something's an FBA, you have no control of the location or how it's used other than selling it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sorry I couldn't help directly on giving you like a backup plan. The real plan. So by the way, I love backup plans. I'm a huge proponent of let's prepare and prevent, and repair and repent if we have to, but hopefully not. The real delineation here on your situation is the fact that Amazon is hostile to your category. And so they're going to be hostile to you in all of the messaging. But if I was in your shoes, I would fight this tooth and nail and not do the removal order until they did it without my permission. I would go to that step.
Okay.
And I would not conduct the removal yourself.
Oh, okay. So just like because right now, I don't have a 3PL that I deal with for removal orders. So I've gone out, I've reached out, I've made contacts for it. And I haven't put in there. I haven't put in any of their information yet. So I'm thinking that like my default settings are either donate or liquidate.
So those are correct. However, if they're calling it drug paraphernalia, they're probably not going to help you donate it. So that leaves you with some challenges. I think you just got to win that it's not drug paraphernalia and get it reinstated. I think that's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. One thing you should verify, and my team's probably already done this, but would you mind just asking Virgil and say, hey, Stephen was on the live with me today. Is there any data that's in Canada that's affecting the US? Just have my team double check that.
So I sell in Canada and the US, and both listings got yanked at the same time, and he's ticketing Canada and the US at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going above and beyond for you, just so you know. We're supposed to only reinstate it on one portal, but in your case, it's the right thing to do. We're going to help you out on both if we can. But I just wanted to point out the extra value. And in any case, it sounds like we're doing the right steps. I'm very confident in the procedures that you've taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, he's like, it's impossible to get a realistic timeline for how long it takes to deal with these things. Like it could be tomorrow, or it could be 60 days from now.
Correct.
Right? But unfortunately, my back's up against the wall with Amazon putting a time-bound action for me to do the removal.
You removed it, and it's 1,000 units?
Yeah, it was my Q4 order.
How big are they? Give me
it's a pretty decent sized box.
So you can't put this at your house. Got it.
No. And I'm in Canada, and so I have to
that makes it worse. Okay.
Yeah,
you literally have to have a 3PL. Got it. Now I understand why you went down those steps. So yeah, just say, hey, 3PL, this is going to happen. Just need a quote. Have you taken?
I've already got all that lined up.
Before?
I've got all that lined up.
They know that it's messy and it'll come in multiple shipments.
Yeah.
Okay.
They specialize in it.
Okay.
So I was
just
more worried about the multi-channel fulfillment, or
don't do the removal order until Amazon makes you. Bottom line.
Okay.
That's the solution.
Okay. Cool.
Keep your head high. Go into the Christmas holidays. Get some sleep. You're going to be okay. This is just one step in the journey. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, you've made the right decisions.
Yeah.
Pretty confident.
Cool. All right. Those were my questions that I had. Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Hope you take it easy. We'll talk to you later, man. We'll see you. All right. We made Matt wait a little bit. Part 2. Here we go, man. After Matt, we've got Vivek and then Christian. We'll go in that order. All right. So Matt, we were talking about reserved inventory. Are you ready to screen share, or do you want to, or how would you like to finish the conversation?
Sorry about that before. Yeah, I'm ready to screen share. My Chrome restarted. That's why I lost you.
It's totally fine.
I just
the
want to
show
say one
must
thing,
go
'cause
on.
I know you like value, and I know you want to, you really want to get to the heart of it. Here's my biggest takeaway from all this. My units were too big. That's
Yes.
my issue. Too big. I would never buy a product that big. Volumetrically killed me in terms of shipping from China and shipping into FBA. That was the biggest concern. Okay.
For a first time starting product, I agree.
Yeah. And 10 of them is too much. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you were an operations genius, that was where your zone of genius was, and you'd been shipping big packages for 10 years, I'd be like, heck yeah, do it.
Yeah.
But without that zone of genius, not a good starter product. Definitely not.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Now I can.
Okay.
All right. So we're looking at the FBA inventory section here. And you want to look at the reserved inventory. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, for example, on this guy,
and I normally look at reserved inventory from the inventory page, but that's fine.
Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go.
So I usually like to look at it from inventory manage all inventory, that top one actually.
Okay.
There are different reports you can look at though, to be clear. And inside of here. I'm getting that same bug. Anybody else getting that same bug on the left-hand side with a weird column coming up right now? I have that on my side right now as well. All right. So in here, we're going to put our cursor over the reserved column.
Okay.
And you can sort that if you want, or go down to the 106, whichever one has the issue.
This is it.
Put your cursor there.
Yep.
On the 106, literally. Click it. And FC transfer. I nailed it.
Yeah.
All right. So I got it right.
Always.
And so there is probably, you could file a ticket and say, hey, this has been stuck in FC transfer for 60 days. Put a number on it. Doesn't really matter if it's accurate. Can you please investigate? I don't believe any form of ticketing will actually speed this up, but I 100% think it's worth the 2 minutes of effort to file the ticket.
File a ticket and say that
these 94 units have been stuck in FC transfer. Make up a date, say for 60 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you please investigate? Now, my prediction, that FC transfer will probably be 94 units. If it's already been like this for 30 days, it's probably going to be like this until like Valentine's Day. I'm really sorry to tell you that.
Oh, so that's affecting my inventory thing. Okay, so I'll take
Amazon is understaffed. And they prioritize not to help the Amazon seller. They prioritize basically on best thing that will help the consumer get packages. And as far as Amazon's concerned, if these 106 units sit on the dock for 2 months, they don't care.
Okay.
So sorry for so much. Matt, you have been like the champion on the podcast of Bad News Bears. And you have taken Mike Tyson punches to the face left and right. God bless you. And you are a glutton for punishment. You're also looking for a doctor to cure your pain, and I think you will eventually find it.
I appreciate all your help, and thank you. You're the best. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I appreciate your addiction to our channel and our content and being a customer. I wish I could have helped you more. But I think a year from now, when you look back, you'll say, yeah, man, I took a couple of Mike Tyson punches to the face, but now I'm good. And you're going to stick to your zone of genius, and it's going to work out in the end. So, Matt, thanks for coming back for part 2. We'll see you around.
Thank you, Stephen. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so next on the list, we've got Christian and Vivek. All right.
Hi.
And I think we lost Vivek on the back end. So, all right, Christian, I think you might be our last in queue here. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. If anybody else wants to join us, we've been going on about an hour, but if we get 1 or 2 more people on the back end here, we'll take you on. Just click on the link for the StreamYard at the top of the channel. All right, Kristen, thanks for coming on. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
So you got a doozy, huh? How can I help?
Yes. So I'm, unlike many of the other people who have been on here, I'm not selling a product necessarily. I'm actually assisting an author who wrote a children's book.
Got it.
And she's written other books for adults. This is her first children's book. And so it's a little bit of a tangle. Initially, she engaged a publisher who was going to print the book. They had to break contract with this publisher because they discovered that this person was actually going to self-publish through Ingram Spark. And that was just not what we wanted. It was, to me, it was kind of like a scam. But anyway, they broke contract with that person and they ended up printing the book. So we were publishing it ourselves essentially, and we've put it on Amazon. But a couple of things went wrong. First, when I initially put the book up, I put it as paperback, and the book's actually hardcover.
Okay.
So I've tried multiple times to delete it and re-add it. It is locked into the ASIN as perfect paperback.
How
So
much? How much did? Okay, so first of all, quick question: are you selling through the KDB portal or through FBA Seller Central?
No, we were just going to ship from her home, basically.
Okay, so FBM, got it. But which portal are you using? Are you using Seller Central?
Yes.
Okay, that's very helpful context. Okay, I think I've already cracked part of your problem. Make a new ASIN for the hardback. And since you're doing FBM, this will be painless.
Okay.
And then just zero out the other version.
Like zero inventory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're going to have two ASINs in the back end. One is basically useless or dead, and it's the version you don't have. It doesn't exist. And then you'll make the new version. Copy over all the same details. Just fix that one attribute that's having a problem.
Okay. It's not going to think, because it seems like it keeps connecting to my ISBN number. So
That's a good point. So technically speaking, you would need a second ISBN, I think,
right.
if you're selling a different version of the same book. So my idea was good, but may not be 100% solvent because of that. So could you, I think based on that one fact, it's probably gonna be better off filing tickets and trying to fix the attribute based on that one fact.
So I've been doing that for weeks.
I know.
And
do you have brand registry?
No. And that's I started the process.
I think so the author's name can be trademarked. Is it yet?
No. Okay.
I sell trademarks, and I'm gonna plug myself here for just a brief second, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
So we have filed over 1,500 trademarks. I would think at least 7 of those are book author names. So we've done that before too.
Okay.
Not as often, but it's possible. Cost is $825. You can get brand registered in under 7 days. Okay. The brand name or the author name, whichever the book is being sold under, it's probably the author name, is what I would trademark.
Okay.
Once you trademark it, and you can trademark a person's name, the brand can be registered in about 7 days. The brand registry portal is going to give you additional access to control the data on Amazon.
Okay.
And will help control this attribute. Now, inside of brand registry, there's a new way to ticket the attribute. And I'm going to demo this real quick because it's going to be new to you.
Okay.
So for those that haven't filed a brand registry ticket, this is the part for you. So you go to brand registry, you log in, you go to support, hit contact support, and in here, listing issue, request a product detail page change, put the ASIN in, and then on the next step, there's going to be a drop down, and you're going to select other and tell them what to fix. And you're going to say, switch it to this. Okay. Give them proof with taking a cell phone picture of the book. So you're going to take that nice book and take a cell phone picture. And so I'm going to go back to frame for me for a second. Make the book, which I'm holding upside down, in frame. So you can see the whole thing in frame like this. Take a picture of the front and the back, maybe even a slight angle shot for a third photo as well.
Okay. To
show and prove that it's the certain type of paperback, hardcover, or whatever it is.
Okay.
They will approve that. If they don't, escalate it just like you were doing on the regular tickets. And after you get to day 3 of these escalations, at that point, send an email to jeff@amazon.com. and say, hey, I've tried to use support to switch this attribute. It's not working. Please switch it over. So I highly encourage you to get the trademark. It's going to be good for the author in any shape or form. If you decide not to do that for any reason, maybe cost is a problem. You're like, man, I'm not even going to make $800 on these books in this next 6 months. So why would I buy a trademark? I would totally understand that. Inside of the portal, I'm going to just make sure you're filing the ticket the correct way. So this is back to Seller Central. If you're going to file a ticket to get an attribute change, get support, selling on Amazon, bypass the box here and hit browse. And under here, hit products, listing, and inventory. And under here, let's see if we can find the right one. Let's go with fix a product page. Put the ASIN in, and same thing with the drop down. Hit other cell phone pictures and file it. In addition to this, I would recommend you get familiar with template file uploads, which you can.
I had tried to get in. I followed one of your videos. I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah, go ahead.
I could not locate the. I went step by step, and I did not have access to what was indicated in the video.
Okay. Do you have, by chance, a professional Seller Central account, or do you have an individual?
It may be individual.
That's the problem. So you won't get access to that without a professional account. You'll need to upgrade that. That'll cost you $40 a month. And
yes. Okay. I'm doing the individual. Yes.
That's why you don't have access. So I highly,
okay.
You got a couple options. I've given you a lot of options on this call, probably too many to pick from, to be honest. A new option, in addition to all the things I just said, close your account, open a KDP account, and go through that portal and try and sell it that way. That's another option.
If I do it that way, if I close out this seller account, open a new one.
Don't open a new account. I'll be very clear. Open a KDP account.
What does that mean?
It's where they sell books specifically.
KDP.
Yeah, it's not a Seller Central account. KDP. So Kangaroo, Delta, Paul. KDP.
Okay. Now, am I doing that from Seller Central, or is there another place to enroll in this?
You're going to go to kdp.amazon.com. So I'm going to add back to the stream here. If you Google KDP Amazon, you're going to click on this link right there, kdp.amazon.com. And in here, sign up for a new account. Self-published books and paperbacks. And then they will print it for you.
Okay. Excellent.
And so there's other options in here. So this is an option. I want to be clear. Selling books on Amazon is generally not a profitable adventure by itself. You need to have an ulterior motive. You need to be able to, you're like, I want to be a bestseller on Amazon because, and it's not money. It's get invites to be a speaker, get my name out there, branding, whatever it might be. I do not personally know a single person in my personal network who makes money selling books on Amazon.
Yeah, and I don't think that the monetary gain is really the person's.
Good.
This is a children's book. It's a Christian devotional for kids, and really,
which God bless. That's rare these days.
Yeah,
and somebody's got to help teach the children morals.
Yes, that's her heart. So anyway, we're just trying to get that message of encouragement to kids at the end of the day.
Got it. So if all of this fails for you, you tried, and I gave you like 4 different paths to go down. If all of that fails, the next step will be just sell the product wholesale to somebody else to sell it on their account and go from there. And if profit doesn't matter, let them deal with it and let them make a profit to deal with your problems. So 5 different paths. Very rare for me to do this and way overwhelmed you. I know you're gonna rewatch.
No, I appreciate it. This is great. I wrote it all down.
So awesome. Good luck, Kristen, and God bless. I hope you guys succeed. Let me know how it goes. Report back. We'll see you next year. All right.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later. Books, KDP, nightmare. I never do a full service deal with a bookseller. And unless there's a very clear understanding, it's very hard to make a profit. But I do coaching all the time. Just exactly what we just did. It was probably my best public video on books I've ever done is the one we just did without actually looking at a book listing. I haven't done that part technically. All right. So on the back end here, we got a few people. The person who's got camera on though is Sean. So Sean, I'm going to bring you in. How's it going, man?
Hey, Steven. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing great. How can I help today?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. First of all, thanks for your channel and videos. We really enjoy it. Always learn a lot.
You're very welcome. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I wanted to ask you is that so I have a problem with a current launch that I just did. It's kind of a good problem, I would say. But so I launched a product, and it has a lot of variations on the listing, and we basically sold out within a week, I would say.
Congratulations. That's incredible. How many units are we talking?
Like 120.
Okay.
So no reviews, brand new listing. So we just launched it and essentially sold out pretty quick. Maybe a little bit more than 120, honestly. I have to go back and look, but roughly in that range, within 50 to 120. So basically it's not like a monstrous million searches a month kind of category. It's kind of a smaller niche category. So basically right now I'm in the process of restocking. I do have inventory a little bit left here locally at my warehouse at my small
so you have more inventory on hand?
Yes, I do, but not a lot. I mean, I'm talking like a couple hundred,
Okay.
like about 300 roughly.
Did you create a duplicate SKU on the same ASIN so you could sell it FBM while you're waiting to restock FBA?
No, I did not, because the FBM part, I don't have a solution to. How do I, if I do that, what's the best, and because I mean, what's the best source to I guess fulfill that order if I received one?
Where are you storing the inventory?
Honestly, here just locally in my house.
Okay. So whether it's in a garage, closet, whatever, if you got 20 orders today, could you ship them yourself by any means necessary?
I could drive.
You figure it out?
Yeah, yeah.
So here's what I would do. I would create a duplicate SKU on the same ASIN. I have a video on this. Just type into Google duplicate SKU, my Amazon guy. And this is completely kosher. This is completely white hat. It's normal to have multiple fulfillment of the same unit. Okay. You're then going to add your stock quantity to your FBM. You can put it at 50. You can put it at 100, whatever you want to do there. That's fine. And then when the order comes in, it's going to show up in your orders. So on my phone, I may have a couple of these pending myself. We processed over 4,000 FBM orders this past month. All right, so here's my actual seller account. We'll see if the camera can make that look okay. All right, so we had a $25,000 day. Was the best day of the year for us. Was great. I have like 26 pending orders right here on the seller app. And so if you click that, you can see who ordered it, etc. Inside of Seller Central, when an order comes in, and I'm going to go ahead and demo this, you also can print an order directly in the Amazon portal. And so if we go over into orders, manage orders, unshipped. So this item right here, we can hit this button, buy shipping. And then once you buy the shipping, you get the label, print it off, slap it on the box, and ship it out however you'd like. You can do UPS, generally not FedEx, but sometimes DHL sometimes, or USPS, which is generally the most common. Is what I'm talking about helpful?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't know that. That is helpful. Is that different than when you let me pull up a listing here right now. I'm trying to think of the when you do a fulfillment order. What is the term I'm looking for?
Fulfillment order. Let's go with that.
Is that a different? Is that the same? Basically, does that result in the same shipping method, or is this different?
So there's FBA, which you ship to Amazon and they ship it to the consumer, and then there's FBM, which is you shipping it direct to the consumer. Okay, fulfilled by merchant, fulfilled by Amazon. So those are the acronyms.
Right. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the multi-channel fulfillment order. So going to that tab, doing it that way, because you
separate from that. Don't do that. A multi-channel fulfillment order means the order came to you another way outside of Amazon.
Right.
So when these orders come in, they're going to show up in the actual orders portal, and then you're just going to hit the buy shipping and print it out. Now, it sounds like you're early on in your Amazon adventure.
Yes.
You don't need to invest in equipment yet. Okay.
Sorry, say that again.
You don't need to invest in equipment yet.
Okay.
All you need to do is get regular sheeted paper, print it out, and tape it on boxes. It's going to look janky, 100%. Okay. But once you've done this for a couple of days and you've done this for 100 orders, at that point, I would go buy like a Rollo printer, which will cost you like $250 plus the cost of the labels. And then you'll integrate it into a computer. You'll create a little desk, and then you can start printing this out at scale. And then you got stickers, and it makes it super easy.
Okay.
But in the meantime, when you're just like, I just want to test it, want to see what happens. You sold 100 units. You got 3 days until Christmas, man. Get that thing live like now. Get in there, flip this thing on for Fulfill by Merchant, and make it so that you have a miserable next 48 hours because you're shipping out 100 boxes and you're like, frick, I'm just so mad. I can't believe I'm never going to do this again. I want you to feel that. Why? Because you're going to remember next time you place that order that you're not going to order 100 to your house and 100 to Amazon. You're going to order 1,000 and ship them all to Amazon.
Yeah. Funny story. On my first private label product, I did order over 1,000, and that I ended up having some manufacturer issues. So that's why I was a little paranoid.
A little bit more conservative this time. All right. So you had some road rash already. I get it.
Yeah.
You got your Mike Tyson punch, which has been our theme this week. And I get it. So props to you for going conservative on the second go.
Yeah.
Here is the most important thing I think I'll say to you. Do not ship from the manufacturer directly to FBA ever.
Yep. I learned that lesson.
Because the Chinese aren't thinking about January. They're thinking about December 22nd. And they don't care if you order again from them. They do not care. They are going for table scraps, penny wise, pound foolish, is the British saying. And they do not think ahead. They do not believe 80% of the people they work with will order a second time. So they will self-sabotage. It's a culture of bribery. And the manufacturing process is completely bonkers, untrustworthy.
Yep.
So I've heard so many horror stories about it. I digress. Probably said too many strong language words. I'll get canceled someday. But it's the truth. It's my experience.
Yeah,
at the very least.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. Hey, Steve, I got one last question, man. I wanted to ask.
Hit me.
So basically, so I'm in a situation. Let me just give you like a hypothetical. So if I had, let's say, out of my variations, or like one variation, I have like 36 units left here in my warehouse, essentially. Should I because I actually was in the process of prepping everything and sending it to Amazon, like literally, like I was about to create the shipping label today,
Okay.
So either I do that and send like all in everything I have and send it in, as soon as possible so it gets processed. I know it's going to take a while to get processed, but either I do that or I just do kind of like half kind of the methodology you're talking about, going through the FBM process and then fulfilling that in the meantime. So where I'm not completely,
there's no wrong answer here. Personally, if I were in your shoes, I think you need to learn FBM, and I would flip it live immediately instead of shipping those 36 in. And whatever doesn't sell by Christmas, maybe ship that in on December 26th so you can take vacation until the new year, right? And then drop it off at UPS and call it a day. But I think the next 48 hours, anybody who has inventory on hand and it's not live at FBA, flip FBM on. It's painful. You're like chaos. You're shipping out boxes. You're dropping off at UPS. It's miserable work, to be clear. But it is such a good lesson. I highly recommend it.
And to do that, you said basically I would need to create. How do I do that again, dude?
Duplicate the SKU. So right after this, jump off, go to Google, type in duplicate SKU, my Amazon guy. My video, 5-minute long, super easy to do. You could do this in 15 minutes right after this session, and just turn it live immediately, and then go make mistakes. Okay. All right, Sean.
Man, happy holidays, dude. Thank you.
All right, you'd be a good candidate for the coaching program at Pope Plus, myamazonguy.com/Pope. We're going to turn that live tomorrow.
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you, Sean. All right, Vivek, you've been waiting a long time, my friend. How are you? Where are you calling in from?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, thank you.
You're a little quiet, by the way.
Yeah, my voice is like a little bit breaking.
Yeah, the audio is almost unhearable. So I think I have a written question from you, though. Let me double check. Go ahead and ask it while I look for this. Okay, how to check the sales of variations listings every time Helium 10 shows sales for complete listing. Yeah. All right. So I understand the question. This is not possible. So so I'm gonna demo this live because it's very difficult to explain this without showing it. So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go to live Amazon. So on here, we're gonna look at my Age of Sage listing. Okay. So I have 1,200 reviews, doing very well on this product. You can see I've got a 4.6 star average. Things have been great. Okay. It's about a year old on the listing. I'm going to hit Helium 10. I have to apparently log into my account real quick. So I'm going to do this off screen. My least favorite thing about Helium 10 is how much it logs me out all the time. But we're going to get logged in. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to demo this live quickly. So I apologize. Stand by just a second and see if I can get logged into a backup account here. Let's see. All right. I'm not going to be able to demo this live, but basically when you hit X-ray, what it's going to do is it's going to show me the best selling unit and the amount of sales that it has. Okay. And that unit, it will have, let's say, 1,000 units a month being sold. Then Helium 10's X-ray report is going to show 1,000 units on the 6-pack, 1,000 units on the 12-pack, and 1,000 on the 100.
Right.
However, it's inaccurate. And if we looked at my real sales in the back end, it's probably going to be like 1,000 on the 3-pack, 400 on the 6, 200 on the 12, and like 50 on the 100. Like that's going to be the real numbers behind the scenes. So the way that you do this when using a tool like Helium 10 is you can only trust that the best-selling unit is the accurate data. And then the other variations are impossible to guarantee what they're selling. However, with that said, you can extrapolate. If it's a sizing unit thing like this, I can pretty much go to any listing of similarity and guess 70% of the unit sales are going to be the lowest, 20%, 10%, 5%, sort of thing like that. All right. Now, if you're looking at if you looked at one of my wine glass listings, right, and you were trying to figure out which wine glass was the best seller, right? So let's go to the Because Patient one, right? So if you want to know, was it Because Patient, Because Work, Because Punching People, or Students? Which one was the most selling unit? The only way to tell is basically by what product shows up in the top selling rank listing. So for example, if this product was in the top 100 of Amazon, you could scroll down, you could click on the C top 100, and whichever one showed up, that's the best selling unit.
Okay.
In addition to this, another way you could do this is you could go to the Age of Sage or the Sold by brand, click on the storefront here, and whatever variation shows up right here would be the one in question. And that would be the one that you knew was purchased. All right. So Vivek, great question. I know your audio is kind of a little rough, so we can't do a lot of back and forth today. So I could not solve your problem, but I explained why. Hopefully that was helpful, sir.
Yeah. One another question is like, what should be the sourcing cost for sourcing any product and sell it profitably?
Did you say the word sorting the product? I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah.
Sourcing. Sourcing. Yeah. Every product has a different sourcing costs, unfortunately, and it's very difficult to predict what it will cost to source something. Obviously, local will be more expensive. China will be cheaper, more time in figuring out logistics and all those kinds of things. But generally speaking, first-time sellers, I would invest $3,000 into COGS max. Third or fourth product, you can go up to 10,000 and scale from there. And the product in the category, a lot of dependent variables here. All right, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Vivek. Appreciate it. That is all of our guests behind the scenes. I'm going to wrap our show today by looking at the comments and picking a few key ones. We have Cool Peeps. Thank you for the donation. We're going to get you on camera here pretty soon. I know you're shy. I know Cool Peeps, but you're a super fan. You've been with us a long time. You're going to have to come on camera one of these times. We're going to get you. Happy Thursday. Thanks for being a guiding light to all of us. Just a few questions today, if you may. How many keywords do you suggest we put into one campaign? 5 or less. 5 or less per ad group. You could technically have thousands in a campaign, but in terms of the ad group, max it at 5. I used to say as much as 20. I've kind of changed on that. I think it's better to have more ad groups and less keywords. And the reason for this is because of the cannibalization. If you put 50 keywords into one ad group, 5 of those keywords will get 80% of those impressions. Many of those keywords might still be good. So that's why I give you that recommendation. Averaging around 15% tacos, is that healthy? Absolutely yes. Category dependent, but absolutely yes. I usually recommend between 11 and 15%. So usually if you're closer to the 15%, it's generally because you're interested in growth. One of the questions I like to ask frequently is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being profit at the cost of growth and 10 being growth at the cost of profit, what is your number? And if you say 6 or bigger, you want to grow, your tacos needs to be 13, 14, 15%. But if you came back and said, I want a 1, you're probably going to have a tacos of like 5%. The 11 to 15% is the healthy number. If you're outside of that bound, it's because of a reason of profit, growth, or category dependent. Why do you buy your own products? Does that break TOS? It does not break TOS. You just can't review your own products. The reason I buy them is because I want to make sure that the process is working. I want to make sure that when I get the unit, it checked out and did okay. So that's why. All right, so I'm going to look into the list. KDP does stand for Kindle Direct Publishing. You're correct, Christina. Looking in the list of questions we had written to see if anybody has a good one I want to end the show with. Stephanie says, only answer I can find is for FBA. I'm just wanting to know if FBM has the same rules to Best Buy dates. Everyone only mentions FBA. That is a really good question. I've never thought of that. I suspect that you probably have a minimum of 30 days. But as long as it's over 30, I think you're okay, FBM. I did talk to one guy that sold like raw milk one time, and I think as long as it was good for 30 days, he was fine, which doesn't actually work for raw milk. So I'm not even sure how he got by. But I do believe the rules will be slightly different, Stephanie. But as long as it's 30 days plus, I don't think you're going to have any problems. If you're less than that, may have some challenges. All right. So this guy says he's in London all day today. Got this bug. Thought it was my laptop. Nope, it's everybody right now, apparently. I thought it was me too initially. Best PPC strategy when starting? Yeah, spend $1,000 and see what happens. Make sure you have auto campaigns and broad match campaigns, and make sure you add negations. Check out my PPC masterclass. Just type in PPC masterclass, my Amazon guy. You'll find it. Also, you can sign up for the Mag School PPC course at mag-school.com. Highly recommend you check those out as well. Amna says, super thought. Hello. Good to see you. Just kind of looking down the list to see if anybody else got another hello coming from Hussein. Probably mispronounced that. Apologies. Just launched a couple of products recently. Didn't have a brand registry. Then they listed it as generic, but we're now close to registering the trademark. Want to add the brand name to all of our listings. There's a way we can do this without deleting and relisting. Yes. First of all, hope you buy a trademark from us at myamazonguy.com/TM. Second of all, you can file brand registry, get that in place first. Then third, file a template file upload to change the brand name. It will not necessarily go through first time, but often does. If it doesn't, you'll need to file tickets. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, probably a 7 out of 10 right now in terms of difficulty. For a new time seller, it's probably a 10 though. But for my Amazon guy and what we do, it's a 7 out of 10. So it's still difficult, but manageable. It's not impossible. And we do have a brand name change service. It is expensive, $500. But if you need somebody to help you do the actual physical brand name change, do that. Having said all that, I believe fully you can do this without me, and it's doable. So try that out. Matthew says, first time working with a product that has a licensing deal, working with a new private label product that has a licensing agreement with a large sports icon. Any tips on adding products to Amazon, or will I need to get it ungated? No way to tell. Just try and list the product and see what happens. You will probably need to provide your licensing agreement at some point. So you could try and provide this proactively, but it won't probably do you any good. So if you're selling on your own ASINs, your journey will be a little bit easier. Stanislav, I probably butchered that. Spend $700 a day on PPC alone. Relied heavily on my organic sales. Great to hear that. Went from 50% organic to 25%. PPC, man, is all over the place. And my camera just went out. This is why I usually don't use my main Sony camera here. It's going to come back in a second. Hopefully you can still hear me well. I think you can. But if we can't get that back up, I might have to switch over to my webcam. This will be a weird. Yep, there we are. All right. I need to figure out how to change my Sony settings so that it doesn't time out on me. I was trying to do a higher quality video. All right. So the question here is, why did organic die, basically? I went from a 7-figure seller to a loser. Oh, this dude took some Mike Tyson punches to the face. You need to evolve or die, sir. Evolve or die. And if you haven't looked at your market share, that would be my number one tip, Stan, is go look at the market share report in Brand Analytics and figure out where you have a high click-through but a low impression share. And then spend more PPC on that. Update your listings with those keywords in it. Make sure you got A+ content with 500 words and many other things. Watch my guides on SEO. Watch my masterclass by going to myamazonguy.com/SEO and channeling all of those great organic tips. There's about 50 more questions in the queue I was not able to get to today. I am out of gas. My friends, my family, if you like today's show, just do me a favor. Slam that like button. Add a comment with one thing you learned today. If you're watching this on the replay, I also would like you to help us out by leaving that comment. Really appreciate it. Pope Plus coming soon. Stand by. Next 24 hours, we're going to take signups if you want to join us and be a part of our first cohort and Slack group and all this other stuff. Super excited about it. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and this is the My Amazon Guy podcast. Taking a break next week. Won't be here. We'll see you in 2 weeks